crafty. Week 12 of Scrappy Organization. That, I'm telling you, my space is coming along. So I wanted to show you a little bit of what I had, what I've accomplished so far, kind of before and after. I didn't take like before photos, but I'll link the first video below, and you can check out what it looked like when I did my crazy nauseating video. But I wanted to show you so far what everything's looking at, and once again, still bear the mess. There's still a mess, but it's way less than it was. And then the week 12, we're dealing with ribbons, sewing machine, threads, whatever you have, that kind of thing. So I'm going to start with that. First, most of my stuff was relatively organized. It was kind of scattered everywhere, so I was able to condense it. On the scrapbook.com, in that class, it talks about how you might not get this organized completely in 1 week because of sometimes how things are spread out, and how you have to go through a lot of things and really decide what you want to keep and what you don't want to keep. I know there's a couple things, reading the class and kind of evaluating what I have for this week. I have an idea that I'm going to have my husband do that will help organize some other things as well that I'm going to try and implement, and then I can show you what I did there. But I'll kind of show you what my idea is, and hopefully I can get it accomplished, and then hopefully it might not be next week, but before this whole organization thing is done, I can show you the finished product of that. So I'm going to turn you around and kind of give you an overview of what I've done so far, and then show you where I have all my sewing thread and all of that stuff going. Okay? All right, the scrapbook space. So yes, I have some projects kind of laying on the floor. Just ignore those. There's some of my advent calendar. That's like the stuff I've opened, the stuff I want to use, the stuff I haven't opened. Anyway, so I have organized actually quite a bit. I don't know if you remember, there used to be like giant totes right here, and there was tons of stuff. Well, there's still a lot of kids' toy stuff over here. But these are the only bins I haven't really gone through yet, and it's a lot of card making supplies and random things. Oh, and look, some thread. So that'll go over here. So when I talked about all my cubbies, these are all the cubbies I've got. Albums, collections, kits that I still have, stuff that I want to go through and get used up, / like my cutting mats, my, that kind of thing, what I'm working on. This is completed cards, sorted, and then all my inspiration magazines. I did end up finding more, if you remember that week of organizing all your inspiration and such. I did find more magazines. I found a whole tote of stuff, and I was like, oh no. That right now is my chalk couture shelf because I emptied some of that out. So that's that. This is where I keep all my embroidery. So all my floss is in here, hoops, patterns, and some other random sewing bibs and bobs, patterns and that stuff. But most of my embroidery is right here at the top. I know it's there. I do have that kind of separate from everything else just because of how I have it organized, and that still could move because the rest of my sewing supplies, now I'm on the floor, are over here. That's all my sewing, like scissors, bob, other thread, all the tools I need, and like cutting mats and things like that are all right there. These bins are full of fabric or felt, and that is like an old sewing kit of my grandma's, and that is like trim, etc. So all my other sewing stuff is over here because my sewing machine sits up there in the corner, which is perfect because there's a plug-in over there. My pedal wraps around. I like to stand when I sew. So that was always like that, but I did go through things and kind of condense and organize it a little better and put all my bulk fabric that I had just kind of laying around away. But I'm getting these cubes kind of sorted. I've got my adhesives. I've got all the things I don't use as much tucked back in there. Photos. Other things, embellishments are all right behind that sled right now. everything's finding a spot, which is good. All my alphas are right there. This is where I have all my washi and my ribbon currently. What my thought is I have this lovely empty space here, and I have a rod I could put here. But what I realized about that rod that I have is like it mounts to this and there's no on it. But I could hang something from that to then string all my ribbon on. Because this space is not being used. This is, I'm not hitting it, nothing. Like it's empty space that could be used. So I'm going to see if my husband can hang the rod I have. And then that rod also has like these, it's from IKEA. It's supposed to be like under counter storage. But it has these containers that can kind of like hang on it to put stuff in. So I could put like all my scissors and then it would be right there underneath the lip of my countertop space. And then I could have something underneath that hanging where all the ribbon is. So that is my thought. That is what I think I'm going to do for my ribbon and sewing. But this, it's coming together. I still have to kind of go through those two things. Those are, I just did a haul video. So if that wasn't before this, which I'm not sure if it is at the moment while I'm filming this, you'll see it after. And then, so I just have to go through that stuff. So that stuff is coming, but I mean this, I had all this emptied out. So that's coming pretty good. I have to figure out, yeah, this cube is kind of a mishmash of stuff. This is kind of a mishmash of stuff. And that's kind of a mishmash of stuff. I still am not sure where I'm going to put my doilies. Because they're too big. I don't know. I gotta figure that out. Maybe I'll put them in with some of my like 12 by 12 stuff that I have up here. I still know. I don't want them to get lost. But things are definitely coming together. So there's kind of like a midway check-in kind of, because there's a few weeks that we won't be doing, or we'll kind of combine there at the end because it's more like furniture and organization that way. But yeah, things are coming together. So yeah. All right, hold on. So really for your sewing, your thread, like if you have a sewing machine and you do fabric and things like that, like I do, you're gonna want more space. I actually have a very condensed space. I don't do a ton of projects, but if you do more quilting and stuff, you're gonna want more space allocated for that. And now if you're only doing hand stitching and embroidery, you're only gonna need like a basket, maybe. And I've seen people just have a basket. But I have stockings of I've made a lot of quilts. Well, not a lot of quilts, but I've made some quilts. So I keep some stuff in hand, and I have a big bag of just like scrap fabric out on that shelving unit that is out in my hallway as well. So there's different ways you can organize your ribbon and your threads, and it just depends on your needs. And that's kind of like the theme of everything. It really depends on your needs. But that is what I'm going to do, is I'm going to use some of that unused space underneath my cupboard or underneath my countertop there where normally you'd have a chair sitting. But I'm going to use some of that to maybe hang some stuff for some other organization, and maybe get a dowel rod hung under there and string all my ribbon on there. But I like all my washi and the small spools of ribbon in this little drawer pull-out thingy that I have. Which, now here I'll show you since I didn't really give you a close-up of it. So this is the thing that I have a lot of my washi and like some ribbon shoved into. I really like this thing because it keeps them still. See, I have all this space back here. This might be going away. I haven't decided yet. Yeah. But yeah, so I would ideally like more things like these to string up ribbon on that I have to fit in here, but I haven't figured out where to find these. So if the dowel rod thing falls through, I might just be getting a bunch of these and basically making my ribbon, taking them off all these big ones and just putting them on small ones. That might be what I have to end up doing. And then also putting all these, so I just need some spools basically. And then putting all these twines, baker's twines, on little spools so they sit in here better and they're not just flopped. So I really enjoy this thing a lot. So yeah, I have some shiny threads, but all like the thread I use for sewing primarily goes in there. So if I need it, it's just right there. So it's not far. So that is what I'm doing for ribbon, washi, thread, embroidery floss is over there. This is going to find a home here somewhere. So that is what I'm doing. So I hope you are now, if you were following along with me and kind of joining in with me, I hope you are now going to be organizing your threads and sewings and notions sewing notions, I should call them. I hope you're going to get that done as well. And I hope, too, that you have a very Merry Christmas, because after this episode, it's Christmas. So have a very Merry Christmas. I will see you after Christmas and before the New Year. And pretty soon it'll be the New Year, and we'll be almost done organizing our space, which will feel really good. But I have some exciting news for January, so I'm excited for that. And yeah, thank you for watching, and I hope you tune in next week after Christmas, and I hope you have the most fantastic celebration with those you love. Thanks for watching. Bye.